Well, good morning to you. We're coming to you live from inside of the beautiful Schar Center. Happy homecoming, folks. I'm here this morning. I'm Patrick Wright, your host of this year's Elon Athletics Coaches Panel. So excited to be here. I work in the Office of University Communications, but before coming here a little over a year ago, I spent 7 years as a local journalist at WFMY News 2 in Greensboro. Many of those years were spent covering local sports, including the Elon Phoenix. So I'm so excited to be part of this university and to be able to tell its story with you all today. I'm so happy to be here. But of course, you didn't tune in this morning to hear from me. So let's get right to our special guest this morning. Starting on my left, I'm joined by head football coach Tony Triciani. Good morning, Tony. Thanks for being here. And here we have Coach Charlotte Smith, head women's basketball coach, head men's basketball coach Mike Shiragi, and head softball coach Kathy Beaucock. Thank you all for being here this morning. I really appreciate your time. Starting with you, Tony, why don't you say hello to the folks at home and tell them a little bit about yourself.
Hello, everybody. I'm Tony Triciani. I'm the head football coach, and I grew up in New Hampshire, and I've spent the last 25 years coaching my way south. This is my second stint at Elon and my fifth year. I originally came down here in 2006 with Pete Lembo from Lehigh University as the special teams coordinator and defensive backs coach, and I returned in 2017 as the defensive coordinator for Kurt Signetti, and I'm now in my second year as the head coach.
All right, Coach Smith.
Good morning, Phoenix family, and welcome to Elon Homecoming 2020. I'm Charlotte Smith, head women's basketball coach here at Elon University. I've been here since 2011, going into my 10th season. I spent 8 years prior at the University of North Carolina as an assistant coach, played 12 seasons professionally in the WNBA, retired in 2006, and I've been coaching for 10 seasons, and I'm blessed and honored to serve here as Elon women's basketball head coach.
All right, now to you, Coach Shiragi.
Yeah, Mike Shiragi, head men's basketball coach. Hope everyone's doing healthy and safe. Thanks for tuning in. First of all, I'm from Atlanta, so I'm a huge Braves fan, so I'm very excited how that's going right now. I was not the player Charlotte Smith was, and I happened to be at the other school in the area at Duke for a long time, but I was at Duke, I was at Indiana, I was at Stanford, Butler, Ohio State, just so excited to be at Elon. About to commence our second season here together, and we're having our first practice as a team today, so really excited about that and honored to be your men's basketball coach.
All right, thanks, Coach. And last but not least, Coach Bo. Good morning.
Thank you. I really feel privileged to be here this morning with all these great coaches. And Phoenix Club, thank you guys, and everybody out there, thank you for joining us this morning. Kathy Beaucock, the head softball coach. I'm starting my 10th year as a head softball coach here, and I can't even tell you how grateful I am that Elon gave me this opportunity. I'm actually from Harrisonburg, Virginia, so being in the CAA, it's kind of fun when we go home and play James Madison University, and so I always look forward to that. I was 15 years. I was over at Averett University, which is a Division III school. I've coached basketball and softball for 15 years, so it's kind of fun now just to coach softball. So I really get to focus on one sport. So, again, thank you guys for joining us today and all that you do for the Elon University athletic programs.
Thanks, Coach Bo. Obviously, an awesome panel of coaches here to talk about Elon Athletics this morning. So my first question, obviously everything has been impacted by everything going on in the world right now. We're sitting here in masks. We're sitting 6 feet apart. You've had practices modified, games and seasons delayed. My first question, and I'm going to start with you, Coach Triciani. How are your student athletes doing through all this?
Patrick, we're doing okay. I'll tell you, we're making the best of this situation. It's real challenging for our guys. We're a team of 96 players, okay, but we haven't been together since March, really. So, and we're watching football being played, and so, that's a challenge for our guys. But we've worked really hard to keep them connected with their position groups. Many Zoom meetings together. This is our first week of resuming training, so we're back to working out this week. It's great to have the kids back in the building. Today's our first day of in-person position meetings, so we're thrilled about that and getting back together with our guys.
Coach Smith?
Our players are doing well, and just excited to be back here on campus. I can't, even begin to tell you how excited they are to be here in person, in class, and back on the court and back in action. Leadership at this point in time is so super important. And my hope is that everything that we've tried to instill in our players over the last couple of years is taking root. And so when you think about it, we talk about controlling the controllables, and you can't control what's going on in our environment right now. What you can control is you. And so what we've talked about is adapting, adjusting, and advancing. And we've had to do a lot of adapting, a lot of adjusting. And I feel like they've done a really great job of being resilient, of continuing to be focused on the task at hand and being mentally tough. And that's what we teach them as players, and that's some of the things that they've exhibited as people as well. And so they're super excited to be back here at Elon University, back in the classes. And I want to say thank you to all the professors and all of the administration that have made this possible.
It's awesome. We're all learning a lot through these times. We're glad to have your players back as well. Coach Shiragi, how are the guys doing?
Yeah, our guys are doing great. We've talked when this all broke out, and we were really fortunate. We were able to finish our season unlike so many sports, so many teams in our sport, and so we knew we were pretty fortunate to have closure to our season, kind of be the last season being winter season, to see where we're at with the virus. Feel so bad for spring sports, fall sports, and we all know we're telling our guys, embrace that it's different. Embrace that there's going to be hiccups. Embrace everything and remain positive about it. And sacrifice has been such a big word for our guys, and I'm sure for all of our student athletes. Sacrificing socially, sacrificing for our university, our athletic department, certainly our team and our season. And our guys, I think, have remained positive through it, and we just maxed out the time we've had together, whether it be those Zooms for the longest time or the small group workouts that we could progress to. And our guys, I'm really proud of them and how they've handled it, and we just need to stay in that mindset, just to keep embracing whatever's put in front of us and make the most of it. But I do agree. I've been so impressed, like Charlotte mentioned and Tony mentioned, just how Elon's response to all this and the positivity they've had with it has really been reassuring and refreshing for us. So.
Coach Bo?
Yeah, so these guys answered a lot of the questions, but we are a little different, so meaning that when we come back in the fall every year, we're kind of small groups anyway, so for us to make that adjustment, we're kind of used to doing that. The difference is that, of course, we'll get to that probably later, but our season being shut down last spring, it was a good thing for us to actually move into small groups because they haven't done the softball side of stuff, even though they worked out all summer and tried to keep busy. We did a lot of Zooms as well. The girls, they'd rather be in person, so they are so excited about being back here as well. And, being around the students and the student athletes, it's been tough for all of them to get through this, but Elon University and our athletic department has responded so well, and really we're all trying to stay upbeat with them and being leaders and really just trying to, give them something to look forward to every day. And they're doing a great job. Our young ladies are doing a great job really focusing in on the academic side of stuff and then the softball stuff when we can get it done.
That's great. And Coach Bo, I'm going to actually stay down there with you. We've all come to know this term uncertain times really well. I think as coaches, you all have pretty tough jobs. You're having to navigate your student athletes through these uncertain times. So how are you keeping your athletes motivated on the field, on the court, but then also in the classroom and around campus through all this uncertainty?
Yeah, well, anybody that knows me and the young ladies will tell you I'm a very upbeat person. I try to be positive all the time. Every day I get up, I'm thankful for it. Our girls are very grateful and thankful for the whole opportunity that they're getting here at Elon, not just through the softball side of things, but the academic side. They're starting to do a little bit more of being in like some clubs or groups and really trying to get on some committees right now this fall, trying to really get ahead of the game academically, trying to just get themselves balanced back to being back at school. So, they do a great job themselves of really trying to stay motivated with everything. And, when they're not over here, they might be over to Intramural Field just doing stuff just to get outside on these beautiful days. So they do a great job. But as far as myself and my staff, we try to stay upbeat because that's just who we are anyway. So I think that helps motivate them.
Coach Shiragi, you've got a season coming up. How are you keeping the guys motivated?
Yeah, I think the fact we have a season coming up, again, we've been really fortunate compared to so many. When we tell our guys to remain on a mission, it's tangible. They feel it, but it's just about winning each day, focus on each day. We talk to our guys about that all the time, the task at hand. Of course, at Elon, that starts in the classroom and academically. So just embracing everything about this and remaining really positive, like Coach Beaucock mentioned. It's just been so key for us. But I do think we benefited from the fact that, hey, we could target, hey, it looks like basketball season's going to happen. We don't know the makeup of it, what's going to look like. We've got to embrace there are going to be hiccups that are involved with it. But I think that's allowed our guys to really stay focused at the same time.
Coach Smith.
I think the hardest part of motivation was when they were actually in quarantine. Now that they're here and it's actually real, that it's a little bit easier. And, I think the biggest part is just training the mind. And that's what we do as coaches. The most important thing is to train the mind. If you train the mind, everything else will follow. And so it's all about being an inspiring leader, to be hopeful. There's a quote that says that ships don't sink because of what's around them. Ships sink because of what they let get inside of them. So I think as leaders, it's been really important to help them understand that, you can't control what's around you, but you can control what's inside of you. And our theme for our program this year is win the day. And after having gone through COVID and quarantine, today is all you're guaranteed. And so it's important to focus in on being the best that you can be and leaving your signature of excellence on this day. And, in terms of motivation, just being here is motivation enough for them. And we're talking about the importance of gratitude. We are grateful to be in this moment. And I think when you have an attitude, that is what keeps you motivated.
Like that attitude of gratitude, Coach Triciani.
For sure. So, similar to Charlotte, we can't win games on Saturdays right now, okay? So, I'm challenging our guys to win today, right? Win Wednesday, and so get up early, get a good breakfast, dress neat, go to class, sit in the front row, engage in your class, follow all the protocols around campus, take advantage of any opportunities we have from a player development standpoint on the day-to-day. So, we're challenging our guys to win today and win Wednesday. Uncertain times, you talk about flipping the script here. For us, we're fortunate we're going to have a season in the spring and be able to showcase our skills and play football, and our guys are really looking forward to that. But we literally flipped the script, so what we would normally do in January, really a bulk up phase and get bigger and stronger. That's what we've been doing in September and August and September, getting bigger and stronger. And, typically in the winter, we'll do networking events to prepare our kids for their internships coming up in the summer, and those of our kids who are graduating, pursuing, their intended career. So we flipped that script, and we've taken advantage of the last couple of weeks here with some downtime to launch a senior Elon football senior mentorship program, where we connect each redshirt junior and senior with an Elon football alum who's highly successful in an area that matches up with that kid's career plans and major. And then we'll be having spring practice here in the fall. We'll have fall ball in another 2 weeks. We'll get out on the field and put some pads on and develop our skills and prepare for the spring. So we've flipped the script.
And with that flipped script, with football especially being so impacted, how exciting is it for your team to know, though, that in a few weeks or a few months, I guess, that they could be on the field playing?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's, watching football happen every weekend. I've never watched so much football. I've loved it. It's been great. But we're all hungry. Our kids want to get out there and showcase their skills and play football and make Elon University and our community proud. So we've got a lot of work to do here until the spring, but our guys are really looking forward to getting back out there and playing football.
Awesome. Now, Coach Smith, let's rewind to last March. You all were playing right here in Shar Center. You just defeated Hofstra in the CAA tournament, had another shot the next day. Did you ever imagine that was actually going to be the end of your season after that win? And how exciting is it to know that finally you're getting closer to another year?
Well, I didn't imagine it, but I knew that it would be a probability, as we had spoken on our head coaches conference call with the commissioner about the potential of the season ending. And so as a leader, you struggle with, okay, should I tell my team that there's a possibility that this will happen, or should I just stay silent so that they stay focused? So as a leader, you try to make the best judgment that you can, and I just felt like it was important to prepare them for the possibility of that. Fortunately for us, the administration did an outstanding job of allowing us to stay together at a hotel because we wanted it to feel like a conference tournament feel. And so when, on that day, March 12th, when we found out that the season was that it was ended and completely over, it was pretty easy to call them downstairs to the conference room. I was so grateful that we were there all together to be able to break that type of news. And so for me as a leader, it was important to try to help them to focus on not what we've lost, but what we have left. And, you know, a lot of other schools didn't even get the opportunity to play in the conference tournament. So we were just grateful to have the opportunity to play.
That's great. Coach Shiragi, I guess 7 months later, you mentioned earlier you were able to get some closure on your season, but of course, more uncertainty. Finally, though, the guys are close to tipping off. You're back in the gym. How exciting is it to be that close to getting another shot at this?
So excited. Seems like a long time ago, but we're so blessed for closure, and our guys understand how fortunate we've been compared. We're always providing perspective right now, always providing perspective. This has been tough on everybody, everything that's going on in the world, not just certainly with COVID. So we're always trying to provide perspective and how fortunate we are and to have each other. And I'm just, we had closure on the season, but I just feel really fortunate that this is year 2, not year 1. I couldn't imagine being a first year. I know Tony was a first year head coach last year, like myself. Having this spring and summer, being a first year head coach would have been really a challenge. Really a challenge. I think I don't get stressed a lot. I think I would have been stressed. Being year 2, having a foundation built, knowing the kind of guys we have in our locker room and representing this university, I felt good. And we remained positive the whole way through, and we told our guys to embrace it. And now it's pretty easy. They got to stay committed and really committed. But now that we're here in our 5-on-5, we just had our first 5-on-5 workout on Monday since that last game in the CAA tournament. So guys are excited to see progress. And as a coach, I've got to be really smart right now, recognizing, hey, this isn't October 14th last year, all these other places we've been as coaches. It's a different October 14th. I can't have the same practice plan I would have had last year because of conditioning, because of contact, because everything like that. So your antenna's up more than ever right now, just knowing and understanding what our guys have been through, and both mentally and physically. But they're excited.
Coach Beaucock, your team was in the middle of their season last year when everything changed. So how is it transitioning the mindset from the end of that season to getting them ready for a new season here in a few months?
Yeah, I've been doing this over 30-some years, and I've never in my life ever, and I know there's a lot of people out there that are doing the same, but one of the biggest things is we were actually playing at Duke, and before we left, they had an email go out saying that all classes were going to go online, but, we didn't think anything about the softball side of stuff, maybe, but we get back and we're still waiting to figure out what's going on. So the next day we were like, let's just have a little fun outing out there. We played actually a tennis ball game backwards, so they had to run backwards, do everything backwards, trying to keep everything light with the girls. Social media puts a lot of stuff out, so they might be getting a lot of stuff that we're not even sure of at the time. So the girls were getting a little worried, so we were just trying to keep things upbeat. Administration, again, did a great job with us, trying to keep us in the loop and the best they could. But then it just came crashing down real quick. Boom, kind of like Charlotte and them. They got called off the court. So, it's tough for everybody. And our girls, at the time, you could see it in their eyes. They were broken, but, we stayed upbeat, and we were thankful for the part that we did get. So we talk about that every day, and, we just try to keep moving forward. And I'm like those guys, everything's different now than the way we used to do. Fall, we'd be playing some games. Right now, we can't do all that. So we're just trying to work on our skills, getting back to it, since we haven't been on the field since March the 12th or something like that. So we're just slowly working our girls back into getting ready to play again here soon.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing them. All right, everybody take a deep breath now. And we are going to stop talking about COVID-19 for a few minutes. Just real quick, going down the line, fans are excited to see your teams back in action really soon. Coach Triciani, let's start with you. What can fans look forward to seeing from this year's Phoenix?
Yeah, when we come back out here in the spring, you're going to see a football team that is well prepared. You're going to see a football team that competes, that has fun, that's very resilient. We proved that last season. We were a team that could bounce back from adversity. And we've got a really great group of kids, talented football team, and a bunch of kids that care about each other and that want to do well and get better. So, right now we're focused on the short-term goals here every day, making sure that our habits align with our goals, and look forward to getting out and practicing here in the next couple of weeks and And can't wait to bring a product out to Road Stadium for you in the spring.
Coach Smith?
Well, we're super excited about this season, and I think Saudia Mumford said it best. You know, we finally have a team where we have some veteran experience. For the last 2 years, we've not had seniors, and we have a big senior class that have high expectations, and they're motivated. This is that same class that won a championship their freshman year, and so they want to leave out on a bang. And so that's our pursuit. That's our goal, is to bring another championship here to the Shar Center.
All right, Coach Shiragi.
Yeah, I think you'll see a team that really competes, really connected, love each other. We spend a lot of time together, certainly less maybe on the court, but a lot of Zooms and meetings. And I think we have a pretty good mix now. Last year it was all about process and building a foundation. We were pretty young, and this year we have more of a mix of veterans and experience and still some young guys. So I think it'll be a great group to see, and we'll have to grow. And last year's word so much was process. This year's word is progress. We just want to keep making progress. Next step collectively as a team, next step individually in your games and your contributions, and that's what we've really been stressing. So I think it'll be a fun group to watch, and certainly hoping you're allowed, our season progresses, and you're allowed to be here watching us too, live.
Coach Beaucock.
Yeah, so we're really young. We were young last year, and then right before we were getting ready to go into our CAA playoffs and tournament and regular games and what we were trying to accomplish, we were so young, and they didn't even get to experience the CAA games. So we're going to be young again. I have 22 on my roster, very young. I have 2 young ladies that are in grad school. One was a senior last year, and she chose to come back. So we're excited about this team. They love it. They love the game. I mean, every day when they can't be here, they're like, hey, where can we go? Where can we go? What can we do? So we're very, very excited about them. And the freshman class and the sophomore class this year will be experiencing the CAA playing there this year. So
That's great. I'm going to go off script here. They're never going to invite me back to do one of these. But you mentioned your youth. Can you talk to me about just how the past few months have brought your team together and maybe helped them grow up? Have you noticed that?
Yeah, social media, again, a long time ago when computers started coming out and this social media just kept growing, a lot way back in the day, so I'll tell my age a little bit, everybody kept saying, oh, we don't want to do this, but thank goodness we have all this, right? Because if we didn't, where would we be today without all this stuff? So, the girls have been able to stay in touch with each other. When they're in quarantine, you can do the FaceTiming. They can talk to each other like they're right there, the Zooms. I mean, it's amazing what it's done. So, helping the freshmen, trying to, feel their way through what they're doing. It's fun to listen to my upperclassmen say, hey, we feel bad for the freshmen because they're not being able to do certain things with us, but we're doing this, this, and this. So, it's good that we have all that. But again, technology, sometimes we all complain about it, but thank the good Lord that we have it.
That's right. Yeah, we've learned how important it can be over the past few months. Anybody else noticed any changes in your teams just because of the past few months of adversity?
I feel like our team is a lot closer, and it's like Coach Bo said, with the advent of technology, we've been able to have Zoom meetings. A book that we read last season was The Boy, the Fox, the Horse, and the Mole. It's so many animals. But we had a chance to just have group discussions on that book. We didn't have a chance to participate in March Madness, so we found this really cool app where we had a March Madness bracket, and it was a brain trivia, and that was a way to bring us together. So that, with the technology is just amazing, and it's done a really tremendous job of bringing us together. And we've just tried to continue some sense of normalcy in terms of things that we do. We participated in the Rise Against Hunger. I think when you learn to live outside of yourself, that takes your mind off of your circumstances and everything that's going on in your life. And I'll have to commend my staff, Stephen Fischler, and my assistant coaches. They've done a great job of assisting me in navigating through this time as well. And we have some programs in terms of like a pen pal program that a lot of elementary school kids are really excited about. So there's a lot of things that we're doing to not only bring us together, but to connect with the community as well.
Yeah, we've had to adjust like everybody else. And my staff's done a great job. Our administration's done a really great job of supporting us. And, we've been using like an app called Learn to Win, okay? And it's a platform where we give the kids installs on a weekly basis. It allows us to give them timed quizzes so we can get an install in with videos and PowerPoints and then give them a quiz. And so we're the player development part, the scheme installation, all that has continued. So we've continued to teach football and coach football and conduct football class the best that we can. So when we do get out on the field, we'll be able to get going.
Yeah, like they mentioned, technology easily brings you together, but adversity brings you really together. It should. And everybody's been going through adverse times with everything that's going on in the world. And I feel that with our guys. We've had so many conversations that have been beyond basketball. And I think we've always done that, but it obviously got taken to another level here the last few months. I think that's made us even closer. And I think the toughest thing right now is you have Elon, you have a great community, great student body. Your team has gotten really close because I think we're all stressing to some extent our team is our bubble a little bit right now. It has to be, especially with Charlotte and I, having seasons here pretty closely. And so our team's gotten really close. I think the hardest part is we got to keep doing our part to get past this so, we can spend more time with peers and other students on campus. It's a little bit more of a challenge right now, but there's no doubt our team's got even closer during these times.
That's great. And Coach Smith, you sort of mentioned it a minute ago, some of the extracurriculars, but obviously the Elon student-athlete experience is about much more than just what happens on the court and on the field. So can each of you tell me a little bit about some of the special experiences you've had with your teams and maybe some of the things that you have coming up? I'll start with you, Coach Bo.
Yeah, so first of all, I want to thank everybody that gives all the student-athletes here the opportunity to study abroad. We were very fortunate that last November we actually went to Japan, Tokyo, and it's funny, when everything broke down and we were on Zoom calls, that was the one thing that we all talked about for a long time is our trip to Tokyo, because that was a positive thing for us. They just kept saying, oh my gosh, just think if this would have been last year, we wouldn't have been able to go. And, and it was an incredible experience for them. The first time I went was 8 years ago. With my first team, we went to Japan, and the group that took us, they had never been there. So it was kind of a new thing for everybody, trying to figure out what we could do and what we couldn't do. Then we actually went again this past time, and we did some things different that we learned when we were there the first time. Every time I talk to the girls about, hey, where do you want to go? You've been there now. Should we try to do it again? And they always say, Coach, you got to take them back to Tokyo. You got to go back. We got to play 2 universities there while we were there both times. The one thing that I can remember sticks out for both groups that we've taken is we practiced with one of the universities, and our girls, if you ask them what was their favorite things, is 1, touring all the different places, but 2 was practicing and playing those teams. Their teams over there are so disciplined, and they don't judge, and they just got after it. And I saw our girls step to a whole different level this past year when they got to practice with them. So I tell you, the study abroad, it's not only great for the young ladies when they got to experience going over and watching the other athletes from other countries play, but touring Tokyo, Kyoto, Kamakura, we went to these places, and it was amazing. They rode the bullet train both times. It's amazing. So if you've never done it and you're looking for somewhere to go and you can in time, go to Tokyo. It's wonderful. So
Sounds incredible. Coach Shiragi.
In terms of study abroad, we're 0 for 2 so far. We've been eligible the last 2 summers. Our first summer is just too ambitious as a new staff, and it's probably to accomplish that. And so we had big plans this past summer to go to Italy, obviously the benefit of a lot of time together even before with practice time. And we of course, understood for months prior to that wasn't going to happen and understood why that didn't happen. So we're holding out hope we can make a lot of progress as a world, as a country, where that will be an option for us next summer instead. But Elon's commitment, overall in the athletic department for study abroad is so impressive, And I think the other thing we're missing the most right now is when we first arrived, spring, summer, fall, even Christmas time last year, service is a big word for us. And the first thing you think about with service is making a difference in others, that whoever you can. So in terms of Habitat for Humanity, soup kitchens, Boys and girls clubs, those opportunities just have not existed to the level we like them to, and understandably so right now. So hopefully, again, we can get to a point where you're able to touch and connect with more people as we progress through this virus.
Coach Smith.
And these times have forced you to be creative, because there were things that we've participated in the past that we had to make adjustments for. We usually participated in the It Takes a Village program, and that's something that has gone virtual. And so hopefully we'll be able to participate in that. It's a reading program for local students here. The other thing is a pen pal program. You know, when I think about pen pal, I remember when I used to receive letters as a pen pal as a kid and the impact that that had on my life. And so that was something that we did last year that we'll continue to do. We actually have kids registering now to become pen pals with the women's basketball players. And, you know, with COVID, of course, you can't go out to the schools and actually read in the schools, so you have to adapt, adjust, and advance. So just grateful for those opportunities. Leadership opportunities, we have a tremendous leadership academy here at Elon University that you participate in as a freshman that's continuing right now. And we're building them and teaching them to be leaders so that they can go out in their communities and lead. And I think that's part of what the Pen Pal program is about, being a leader. And then the study abroad, that's such an awesome program that we've had the fortunate opportunity to participate in twice. When I became the head coach here at Elon in 2011, that was my first year. And I was grateful for that opportunity because I actually got my first coaching opportunity overseas as a head coach at a Division I school. And that was such a tremendous program because a couple of the games fell through and we ended up being able to join this tournament where there were teams from over 100 different countries. So imagine that exposure to all those different cultures. And then 5 years later, we were able to go to Italy, and that was a great trip. And unfortunately, this summer, we were unable to go on our study abroad. So hopefully next summer, we'll be able to make that trip to Spain. But there's so many opportunities for our student athletes to develop and to be prepared for life after college, and that's the beauty of Elon University.
That's awesome. Coach Triciani.
We're so fortunate that Dave Blank and our university administration has made the commitment where every student athlete here at Elon has the opportunity to study abroad. And from a football standpoint, we study abroad every spring. So our junior class goes abroad. We've been going to Costa Rica now and over spring break in March. And it's a service learning trip where, you know, we land in the capital city of San Jose and we conduct a football camp there. They do play contact tackle football in Costa Rica, so we do a football clinic, and then it's a service learning trip. So we go to see some museums, we go to visit some elementary schools, we do some beach cleanups. We also have some fun with some whitewater rafting and snorkeling trips, and it's been an amazing experience for our kids and our players. And we missed the opportunity this past March. We were a day away from leaving for our trip. So I know our guys are looking forward to getting back to that tradition and that amazing experience.
Thank you, Coach. Well, so many awesome, incredible opportunities for Elon student athletes, both on the field, on the court, and off of it. Thank you all so much for being here. Coach Triciani, Coach Smith, Coach Shiragi, and Coach Beaucock. I appreciate all of you taking time to catch up with us this morning. That's going to do it for us from here inside of Schar Center. To you at home, I want to wish you a happy homecoming. Have a great day.